the number of diverse staffers has increased, reaching the highest level since we launched our survey, and almost certainly the highest level ever. Certainly the highest level in our conference's history. Our survey also shows that more African Americans work for Senate Democratic offices than ever, and in fact, that's also true for Latinos, Middle Eastern and North Africans, and Asian American Pacific Islanders. Additionally, more staffers identify as part of the LGBTQ community since we first asked that question starting in 2019.
He called for a number of changes to tax policy in his State of the Union address, including significantly raising the levy on stock, buybacks, and imposing a billionaire minimum tax. But the shout-out to the expanded child tax credit is more immediately significantly for the average American family than a tax on billionaires. The expanded child tax credit was back in 2021 to help a lot of people out and to help families with Americans struggling financially while they provided stimulus for a long time. And the maximum benefit of the credit was increased from $2,000 to $3,000 in 2021. That's for people 6 to 17 years old. And half of the credit was given in advance, plus in monthly payments to the families to help others throughout the year, and the other half was given as part of a household's tax refund. The household with pretty much no or low income was able to receive it for the first time. And though it can take years for the policy to have the tangible effects, the impact of the credit was pretty much very noticeable, very fast. And so I believe it's pretty much right for Joe Biden to send out another one. Don't you guys agree? Parents reported using the advance payments for household essentials like groceries, clothing, schools, and utilities. And despite worries from conservatives, researchers found no evidence that the policy discouraged people from going back to work. Instead, it probably motivated people to get back to work. The Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, everybody, said the success of the 2021 expansion showed us that child poverty rates are a policy choice, not inevitable. And Congress failed to renew the expansion in 2021, reverting the credit back to its former, less generous iteration. It's one of the reasons that families could see smaller tax refunds this year when they file their returns, because some tax credits have already implemented their own version of a child tax credit last year to make up for the difference. Still, without this expansion, everybody, millions of people fell back into poverty at the beginning of last year. It made many people broke, and it hurt so many households. But folks, here's a solution to this. Folks, there is a new fourth stimulus check, and thousands of Americans are set to receive checks worth as much as $2,500 very soon. Many of you are wondering whether your state will send you one. Well, I'll be sharing all this important information for the fourth stimulus payment in today's video. So continue watching. We got a ton of news about this. Since the IRS distributed the final batch of these economic impact payments to eligible individuals, the concept of a fourth federal stimulus payment has been under consideration. There are several statewide programs that are in full swing or just getting started. The Alaska Permanent Fund Dividend pays Alaska residents a portion of state minerals revenue in the form of an annual dividend to benefit current and future generations. Although the deadline is March 31st of the year for which you're applying, there are some exceptions. According to officials, applicants who filed an application online and have been determined eligible will receive a September 22 stimulus payment. That's until the end of October at least. In the Washington Working Families Tax Credit aims to offer financial support to residents for the state range from $50 to $100. Now, these payments will be allocated to individuals and families taking into account specific criteria like the income level and the number of qualifying children in the household. Furthermore, eligible recipients will have a 3-year window to claim the credit. Massachusetts has also already began doing this, and if you haven't even filed your 2021 return, you can still get a refund as well if you file by September 15th. If you're eligible for a refund, you should receive it about 1 month after you file. The New Mexico Taxation and Revenue Department started issuing rebate checks of up to $1,000 for the married couples, heads of households, and surviving spouses, and even $500 for single filers. Eligible residents who filed a 2021 income tax return are not even declared dependent on another tax return if they will receive a payment automatically. The payment is actually a rebate for the New Mexico residents who have filed or will file. Now, experts have noted that Joe Biden didn't even offer much to student loans, but instead experts say that the president provided a watered-down version of the forbearance loan. More details on the previously announced update income-driven repayment plan and a promise again to help America out. Joe Biden said it would actually be discharging the loans for borrowers who've been in repayment for about 20-25 years under the program. But now, under the announcement from Joe Biden again, Biden has announced the programs of the day of the Supreme Court decision. Questioning remains about how implementation for this process will work, to help borrowers adjust their monthly payments and to restart in September. The president announced that the revamped program, which will last 12 months, according to student loan experts, is actually a forbearance in many ways. It can help borrowers pay their student loans. Some advocates are actually recommending that they do not even use the on-ramp program, and thus avoid interest accrual. Now, during this period, borrowers who miss payments won't be reported to the credit bureaus, and won't be considered in default, and won't be referred to collection agencies for those payments. It's similar to the payment pause during the crisis, which was actually called forbearance. But the interest will occur, and a key difference: during this key crisis payment pause, interest was set at 0%. According to Yahoo News, although payments won't even be due for another year, balances will start accruing interest on September 1st. The longer it takes for Biden to cancel the debt, the more it will cost the people that
to rein in unsustainable spending and reorient the nation's fiscal trajectory before it is too late. Now, top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell was confident yesterday that the country would not face a financial crisis.
In the end, I think the important thing to remember is that America must never default on its debt. It never has and never will. But we'll end up in some kind of negotiation with the administration over what.
So both Democratic and Republican lawmakers, everybody, are negotiating on Americans receiving universal basic income payments. This is some good news. It has been announced up to $18,000 may be claimed by several people that are experiencing financial difficulties. So if you qualify for this extra stimulus check, be sure to watch this entire video because you definitely don't want to miss out on it. So the past 3 round stimulus checks have been given to people, and more Americans, and more.
I've not met a cop who likes a bad cop. There's bad in everything. There's lousy senators, there's lousy presidents, there's lousy doctors, there's lousy lawyers. No, I'm serious. But I don't know any police officer that feels good about the fact that there may be a lousy cop. I'm tired of not giving the kind of help they need. Folks, look.
Now, some of you guys may not automatically, some of you guys may not automatically get your 4th check. There are also huge changes to monthly benefits that may be coming next month. New delivery dates have been confirmed by state officials, and here is your daily update for your 4th stimulus check. A nationwide outage was reported with the SNAP program, leaving more than 1 million people without the ability to use their benefit transfer cards to make payments at retail stores. Agencies in Massachusetts and South Carolina reported on Sunday that customers are unable to make purchases with their electronic benefit transfer cards. The South Carolina Department of Social Services wrote in a Twitter post that it is aware of processing issues of electronic benefit transfer cards due to a third-party processor outage impacting programs in multiple states. The department later tweeted out that all the systems were restored, resolving the processing issues. The Massachusetts Department of Transitional Assistance also said in a Twitter post that electronic benefit transfer card processing in the state was affected, but later said that the issue was resolved. Several U.S. states have officially announced